Relief from being stuck. Relief from that scared little girl in the camp praying and hoping that someone out there sees them. Relief from the 4 years of life after high school, of knocking on every door and not seeing an answer. I was hopeful before, but my hope had diminished over time. I became hopeless in the process. And then all of a sudden, that hope is reignited. I think that's what that acceptance really symbolized. And the education that I had been chasing for so long had finally paid off. I was relieved. I didn't know what uncertainties laid ahead, but I knew I could do it. I knew I could take on the next challenge, because getting to that acceptance, it was a long journey.
Funding for this program comes from the Cranwell Family Foundation, with additional support from the American Advertising Federation of Roanoke.
They're not the rich and famous. Their profit comes not from the thing they sell, but the good they do. Our nation has more than 1.5 million nonprofits that employ 1 out of 10 Americans, providing services that otherwise go unfulfilled, keeping our community connected when all else fails. But nonprofits often lack the tools to properly promote themselves, to inspire more donors and volunteers and clients to their cause. That's where I come in. I've been in the nonprofit world for nearly 20 years. I connect nonprofits with marketing professionals who donate their time and expertise so that, at the end of the day, these life-giving organizations can do more, do better, by creating more, that's right, buzz.
For most Virginia Tech students, the journey to university was one of GPAs and SATs, high school sports and artistic pursuits, a few extracurriculars, and maybe a weekend job. But for some Hokies, and fellow undergrads scattered at schools around the world, the journey began 8,000 miles away in the African country of Kenya, in a refugee camp that's more prison than promise for the 300,000 people who now call it home. But there's a band of refugees joined by a Virginia Tech alumna who have added a Swahili word to this desolate place, Elimisha, meaning educating. Their nonprofit, Elimisha Kakuma, offers hope through university access, and we are honored to feature their inspiring mission on today's episode of Buzz.
My name is Joseph Dudi, and I am from South Sudan. I grew up and lived in the refugee camp for 15 years.
So my name is Ding Manyang. I'm originally from South Sudan. I've lived in Kakuma until around 2017 when I left.
My name is Mary Nyeriak Makir Dengmalong. I go by Mary Maker because we're making Mary. I think I got to Kakuma when I was 2-ish.
I graduated from Harvard in 2023 with a bachelor's degree in history and science, and recently I completed my master's in business administration from Virginia Tech.
Studied at the George Washington University in Washington, D.C. I did systems engineering and I minored in economics, and I graduated in 2022.
From the camp, I got placed to St. Olaf College in Minnesota. So Minnesota. And I graduated class of 2023 with a bachelor's in theater, international relations, and race and ethnic studies.
The Kakuma Refugee Camp was established in 1992 to shelter families fleeing civil war in South Sudan. It has since become one of the world's largest refugee sites and is jointly administered by the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Refugees, or UNHCR for short, and the Kenyan government. Each of the founders of Elimisha Kakuma has a heartrending yet all too common story of how their families arrived.
So when the war first broke out, my mom was really young. I'm the firstborn, and she gave birth to me when she was around 16 years. My dad then was fighting in the war of Sudan. And then my little sister, the one that follows me, we were only 1 year apart. And so you can imagine my mom being little, and she has to escape with two daughters. So I ended up being shipped, or at least I had to live with my grandmother, my mom's mom, and kind of like, grew up with her. And then my mother, she had already moved to Kakuma then, and so I joined her later on at the age around 4 or 5. Can't really tell exactly, but it's really like similar typical story of just have to run because the war happened, and you find yourself in Kakuma.
What was designed to be a temporary refuge has become a permanent settlement for its war-stricken inhabitants, who can neither return home nor leave the camp.
I remember first going to school, I think after 3 months or something like that, and I loved school so much. It was a bunch of 200 kids in a tiny classroom. We all can't speak to each other because we're all speaking different languages. We know that we've gone through pain. We don't fathom it. You don't know how to explain death. You don't know how to explain the loss of friends and so many things that happened to us. But in this very moment, we were happy. And we're in a classroom, and all our struggles, and whether it's a ringworm on our head or the malnourishment in our body, it didn't matter. We were all together and we were laughing, and we would scramble for porridge or so many other things. And you don't see the vulnerability in that very moment. You're just happy to see another kid, in the same space and having a happy moment. And education then becomes this thing that you told, education is the key. And I wanted to lash on to that moment. I think that was my first impression of the camp. It's a place where there is no gunshots, a place where I'm not seeing death as a normal thing every day, right? It's a different struggle, but there was a sense of relief and a sense of peace and a sense and a moment to process what just happened.
But peace comes with a price.
You cannot work, and even if you work, it's not sufficient to sustain yourself. So you have to rely on nonprofits and UN agencies for food, for water, for shelter, and for anything else, education, healthcare, and all of that. And the thing about services you don't pay for is that you don't get sufficient, you don't get enough of it or adequate amount of it. So everything else, like the classrooms are crowded. You have 120 students in a classroom. At some point, you have 2 patients sharing one bed. It is difficult to get surgeries, advanced surgeries, because there's just not facilities for it. There's no electricity. There's no paved roads. The food given is not enough. So most of the refugees survive on 1 meal a day. The water is also, there's a specific portion for you every day. So one of the things is that how many cups of water you will drink a day. Mind you, the weather is hot and it's 100 degrees on average every day. So you really need to hydrate, but then you don't have enough water. So you have to know how many cups are you drinking a day, because if you drink more than you should, it means someone else is missing out on drinking water. So that's a brief of what life looks like in the camp.
Ding, Duty, and Mary discovered a talent for learning and learned that education was really the only hope to escape. They qualified for a university access program based in Rwanda, where they met Deirdre Hand, a Virginia Tech alumna who first began helping refugees as an undergraduate volunteering in Roanoke, Virginia, teaching literacy to Somali immigrants.
We would jokingly talk about how one day we're going to start an access program like this, but for students in Kakuma. And, a couple years later, 4 or 5 years later, that access program that they had been in, that I had worked for, stopped taking students from Kakuma. And so we decided it was time. It was a pandemic. I guess we had some time on our hands. So we got on Zoom and we went for it, and thus began Elimisha Kakuma.
I had people that we were in the same class. They worked harder. They were probably smarter, but I got that opportunity, right? And not them. So why me, right? And we just started by starting this organization to give other people the opportunities that we had, so that they get to experience the joy and the freedom that we thought was out of reach.
Elimisha Kakuma's Education Center provides electricity, cooling, sufficient food and water, internet connectivity, and computers. It also provides specialized tutoring, essay writing, and college guidance, thanks to Program Director Annika Brennan.
So this year we have 19 students starting at 16 schools, all over in Scotland, UK, Canada, the US, Costa Rica. So we have a student at Northwestern, at Berkeley, at Macalester, at St. Olaf, at McGill, at University of Toronto, at Edinburgh, at Exeter, at Winchester, at Brandeis, at Bennington, at Elmhurst, at Virginia Tech, at Virginia Tech.
The Kakuma connection to Virginia Tech was inspired by Deirdre Hand's former professor, Brett Shadle, whose academic research focused on African history, and who had recently co-founded the Virginia Tech Center for Refugee, Migrant, and Displacement Studies, or CRMDS for short.
I think one of the main areas is the tutors that we recruit from amongst Virginia Tech students to work with the Elimisha Kakuma students. So our Virginia Tech students volunteer. They get up early, they stay up late to Zoom with the students, tutor them during the classes that we have, and work with them on college applications, exploring different colleges, helping them brainstorm their college applications. And so it's really wonderful what the Virginia Tech students are willing to do, and they learn a lot and they make real friendships with the Elimisha students.
Helping fund the initiative is the Cranwell Family Foundation, based in Blacksburg and led by David Clubb.
Well, we kind of lean into our locally grounded, globally minded ethos because we really believe that we're all interconnected and interdependent in so many ways. So we like to say, if whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, we know that's not true when it comes to our shared humanity. So we believe that whatever happens in Kakuma doesn't stay in Kakuma. It actually echoes here, even in Blacksburg, Virginia. So when a student in the refugee camp is denied access to education, it's not just their individual potential that is lost, it's lost all of their potential to impact the world. And so we believe that firmly, and that's why we wanted to get involved and help to support Elimisha Kakuma.
There are too many organizations where outsiders step in and explain what needs to be done without asking. This was an organization where Mary, Duty, and Ding could tell us what was needed because they had lived it. Brilliance is not restricted to one country or one place. There's an enormous pool of talent in Kakuma that is ready to be unleashed, and what they need is an opportunity. That's all they're asking, is just the opportunity to show what they can do.
In 2024, Shadle and Clubb journeyed to Kakuma to deliver the news to 2 refugees that they had been the first to be admitted to Virginia Tech.
Yalouet and Ajir, could you come forward, please? So I think you all know that Ajir and Yalouet were accepted into Welcome Corps, and we've been waiting to hear what the match school was. Would you like to open? We are so proud. You guys have worked so hard. Yalouet, don't leave. It's okay to cry if you want to cry. We are. I know Ajir was saying yesterday, you can cry forwards too. And she's been investigating Virginia Tech, and we kept hoping and hoping. So if I could ask Laura to come forward and say a few words about Virginia Tech.
I'm going to cut to the chase because I can't keep going here. It is my incredible honor to tell the two of you that the College of Science, the College of Business, and the Cranwell Family Foundation have joined forces to give each of you a full 4-year. You know, from the Hopi Nation, we're so proud of you. It's so lucky to have you.
In fall of 2025, Virginia Tech welcomed its newest Kakuma student, who bought her newest jilbab in honor of her new Hokie home.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruun Samatar and I am a refugee student from Kakuma Refugee Camp. We came to the camp when I was 3 years old, and just last month on August I was fortunate to get out of the camp at the age of 21 years old to look a better life for myself. When you are at the camp, you feel like time isn't going anymore, like things are collapsed, and every time seeing like a plane goes up your head, like you're like, when am I going to be in that plane? Like, when is my time coming? When am I getting out of this place? Like, because everyone, most of the students who finish high school have a desire and dream to just look for a better life, to look for joining into university. It felt like my hard work, my determination, the long nights that I have burned had paid off eventually, and I could see like the end of the tunnel, like getting into university with a full honors, college into Virginia, full ride of STEM scholars. It was like a dream come true. Yeah.
Even after her acceptance, the road to Blacksburg was fraught with bureaucratic obstacles of getting the necessary paperwork, visas, and so forth. The founders kept her informed of opportunities to attend university in other countries.
First applying to Virginia Tech, the motto of the school resonated with me, ut prosim, that I might serve. So I think like I clicked with that motto, because that's what I have been doing back there in the camp, serving people. And that's what Elimisha also, when I joined Elimisha, it taught me not to only think of yourself, but also of the others. It didn't only prepare me intellectually, but also like the ability to help others around me, trying to find problems that are there and helping them in a way that it is possible for you. Yeah. Now I'm in the College of Business, but then like I was interested in computer science, and I wanted to both double major in computer science with health and see like how, technology is revolutionizing the healthcare system. But then like, yeah, I'm also interested in international relations, in journalism, in many things, and it gets crazy sometimes. I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? So I'm like, I need to stick to one thing. I'm like, because like it's so funny. But then like, I really want to do a major that later on will not only help me, but also I can use it to help others. Without Elimisha, I don't know where my life would have been. I would have been still there back in the camp trying to figure it out, what to do, where to go. So like, it is fortunate, and I always thank the co-founders of this program. And I love to also come up with another program that maybe there are a lot of problems in this world. So just coming up with another program that can help people and leave a legacy. That is what Elimisha has taught me, to leave a legacy. I love to leave a legacy in where I go. Here in Virginia Tech, leave a legacy of being a student. Outside of Virginia, also to leave a legacy. So that is what I love to do.
What's happening in Blacksburg, Virginia, is replicated at other universities around the world.
3 years ago, if somebody would have told me that I would be where I am right now, I would not have believed them, because I was at a point which is at a critical point of my life where I was almost giving up on myself.
I am a psychology student at the University of Exeter. I mean, before Elimisha, honestly, my future felt like a locked door, something I could just dream of, something I saw others do, something I wish happened.
I graduated from Somali Bantu Secondary School in 2020. It wasn't until 2022 when I got admitted into Elimisha Kakuma program.
I was rising sophomore year at Tufts University, pursuing my bachelor's degrees in computer science. Elimisha Kakuma to me means access and an opportunity to dream. Because without Elimisha Kakuma right now, I'd probably still be in the camp, depressed.
I would say I'm so grateful that not just because of where I am right now, being now a third year at McAllister College, but rather that Elimisha continue to support students who are very talented.
But when Elimisha came, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Everything was just vibrant, like life just changed. And now I was going to school finally. So yeah, Elimisha not only gave me an opportunity, it gave me hope, it gave me life, it gave me a future to look forward to. I mean, without Elimisha, I'd still be dreaming of education now, but hey, here we are living the reality. So thank you, Elimisha.
I was able to secure a full ride scholarship at Elmhurst University, where I'm currently now pursuing my bachelor's degree in computer science and digital media with a minor in film studies.
For example, most of the job pay you less than $100, but you don't get an opportunity to dream bigger, right? For example, I have a vision and a goal to improve healthcare back in my home country or even in the refugee camp at a small scale. But I don't get to learn how to do that by just being in the camp. It's because I don't have the tools and the resources and the right education to do that. And so that would be the reality for me if I didn't have access to higher education.
I really appreciate Elimisha Kakuma for having believed in me and gave me a chance, and for every support they gave me to make sure that I go to school and a full ride scholarship. Thank you so much, Elimisha, and I'm very grateful for everything.
This theme of using their university educations not for their own gain, but to improve the quality of life for other refugees resonates throughout Elimisha Kakuma.
Everyone is hungry for opportunities. They're hungry to see a change in their community. The students that come through Elimisha Kakuma, you see how exceptional they become and how hungry they get once they get to college. And that's when they think about giving back to the community, because they know how important it is. They know how important it is to feel seen, to feel acknowledged, to feel like someone out there sees you, right? And so the moment they get to a university, that's why they're starting nonprofits. That's why they're starting organizations that do mentorship within the camp. The camp broke us, right? And so we don't want to see more broken vessels. We know what it means, like not to belong, not to be even given an opportunity to contribute to a society.
I'm not any special. I'm just an ordinary kid who, found himself in a situation that he did not like. And I looked at myself and channeled that emotion into books and studied, right? I am not the only one who had that feeling or have that dream. There's thousands of others in the camp, right? So in that sense, there are people who are smarter, who worked harder, and there are still people who are smarter and who are always going to be working harder, and they just want that opportunity. So I think circumstances, things line up for me, and why can't we do the same thing for thousands of other kids who have some similar dream, if not greater dreams?
So our Virginia Tech students, as a whole, Virginia Tech students look for ways to give back, ut prosim, that I may serve. And this is a way for the students who have a passion of giving back to really be part of an organization where you can see the impact over the course of a year. You can see our Elimisha students grow academically. You see them get into college. You see what they do once they get into college.
I can't say that I was special in any way. I'll say maybe I was just lucky, and the universe was working, doing its own magic, and then having that call and being informed that you've been admitted to the George Washington University in the heart of Washington, D.C., fully funded. When are you coming, you know? And that I'm just hoping that we'll continue just doing the same for more students. And hopefully sooner, you know, everyone will get the opportunity that they want, and the world will be a better place.
I am a purpose-driven person.
I'm an aspirant scientist.
I'm a creative writer.
I am a problem solver.
I am a believer in the power of education.
I'm an artist.
I am a gamer.
I am a seeker. I'm a visual artist.
I'm a defender of human rights.
I am a storytelling enthusiast.
I am a passionate leader. I am a human rights advocate.
I am a sexual and reproductive health rights advocate.
I am resilience, rising from challenges to create change.
I am the future.
I am the future.
I am the future.
I'm the future.
I am the future.
I am the future.
I am the future.
I'm the future.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I'm Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I'm Elimisha Kakuma.
I'm Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.
I am Elimisha Kakuma.